What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the celebration of Brazilian new series Dom, now available on Amazon Prime Video, I'm here talking with the star of this new show, Gabriel Leone. How are you, Gabriel?
Hello, how are you, Rama?
Good. Thank you for taking the time. You had the big task of playing the title character on this true story show, and you did so well on it. So, how much of your performance was you trying to emulate the actual Pedro, and how much of it was your own spin or your own version of Pedro?
Well, the show is inspired in a true story. I did not know Pedro. I did not know Victor, his father. However, Breno, the director, learned about the story from Victor, Pedro's father. Breno lived and knew Pedro. They got along for more than 10 years, so he was my North Star throughout the shootings. Breno, the director, was not only the director, but also one of the screenwriters, and he lived along with Pedro. So he was an eyewitness to many of the situations that happened in the series. So he could guide us, not only as a director, but also provided us guidance throughout the whole show. As I said, the show is based on a true story, but at the same time, we took some dramatic licenses from our physical characteristics to the way characters were built. So many situations you are going to watch in the show actually happened, but since this is a fiction series, of course, the way I play the character involves my own take on it. It also involves Breno's take on the character and what story we want to tell. I mean, if we were to play the part as the story happened, this would have been a documentary. But since it's a fiction show, you will be able to see our contributions as well as the showrunner's contributions.
Thank you. Talk to me about your crew, your team, Dijao, Isabella, Raquel. Talk to me about working with them in creating that team dynamic. How fun was it shooting those scenes where you guys basically run wild on a wealthy person's home? Because it looks like something I would want to do.
It was quite fun, yes. It was one of the funnest parts to shoot. And it's funny because they're all criminals. So these scenes bring some comic relief to the show. You know, we could have fun and maybe the audience will cheer for them at those points. So we rehearsed quite a lot because we wanted to make sure we could build a good dynamics amongst the whole crew and the gang, you know. But we all got along really well from the very get-go on a personal level. We became friends and we also interacted really well as actors. So yeah, we did have a lot of fun shooting those scenes, but at the same time, we knew that those fun moments were not everything. We knew that there were going to be some more dramatic scenes, so it was important to talk about that beforehand.
Let me ask you, where do you think is the disconnect between Pedro and his father, Victor? Why do you think their relationship is so strained?
Well, I think that is what the show is about. You know, that's the main underlying discussion to it. This is a provocative show because of this issue. We try to look at those elements that will factor into this complex debate. They live opposing lives, and that's not something I'm saying. Victor actually mentions that on the show. So the show was created to raise the debate. We don't want to find out who's guilty or not. Much to the contrary, we want people to reflect upon what is happening and foster a debate. So everyone is accountable for everything that happens. The father, the mother are accountable for raising their son, but Pedro grows up, he becomes a grown up, and he has to make his own choices. So he's also accountable for those. If you add up drug addiction on top of that, considering this is a disease, well, all those elements factor into this debate. And this is one of the great successes of the show. We just introduce all those discussions to the audience, but we do not give them answers, and we do not want to find out who's guilty or not.
And finally, I observe Pedro as somebody putting the drugs addiction aside. He's the kind of person who has desires, ambitions. He pursues. He wants to be respected. He wants to be somebody more. He wants to make a mark. So I'm just wondering, do you, Gabriel, see yourself also having such desires and ambitions in your life, or is that something that maybe just on the screen, just a role that you play and doesn't really parallel your own experiences?
Oh, sure. I do have ambitions. I would say that, as far as I'm concerned, and considering the character I tried to build, I'm not really sure what his life goals were. Pedro is sort of lost. I'm not sure he had a clear goal, but he was moved by his feelings. Adrenaline and danger sort of gave him a boost, but he did not have a clear focus. Now I do, when I think of my career and the work I've been doing for the past years, I believe I've been constantly growing, and I hope I can stay that way for a long time. I try to make the most out of every opportunity that is given to me from the very beginning of my career. And this is an ongoing process. I try to grow constantly. So yeah, I'm just living my process, I guess.
Thank you for sharing that. For my fans at home, everybody go check out Dom, available on Amazon Prime Video. Gabriel, thank you for talking to me, and congratulations.
Thank you, Rama. Thank you.
Obrigado.